the president saying he is letting them implies that he has the option of not letting them. There are reasons why no president up until this time has made explicit comments like this about the Federal Reserve. And the problem you get into, Wilf, is I could think of a couple. The first one is, let's say the Fed were to pause the next time around. Would it appear as if the Federal Reserve were knuckling under to political pressure? That's the first thing. And I think the second reason has to do with, what happens the next time around if you get into a situation where they're tightening or going the other way. It could become a political issue in Congress. I think there are reasons why things have happened the way they did in the past. Conservative reasons. There's conservative reasons why central banks are independent all over the world, and it's served most of those economies very well.
It's sacred, the Fed independence. I totally agree with you, Steve. And I think no matter what, it has to factor in the back of their minds when they're making policy, even if they don't want it to. And
Hey, Sarah, can I just respond? I want to respond to that because one of the reasons why is the president setting up the Fed to be the fall guy for what could happen to the economy from his trade tariffs. And you just said, Sarah, that the yuan is weaker. Is it weaker because of the Federal Reserve, or is it weaker because of the president's trade policies? This already is an issue here about the Fed becoming the fall guy for perhaps errant administration policies.
What do you think? Gerald O'Driscoll, you have been inside the Federal Reserve. Are we right to be concerned about its independence?
Well, this is the president. This is how he operates. He's unconventional. He's done this and other things. But on the substance of what he said, I agree. The Fed is being very aggressive about raising rates. They're announcing it ahead of time. And I think they're ignoring things that they should pay more attention to, like the flattening yield curve, the strong dollar. And I just don't see the case for this aggressive stance.
So do you agree with what the president has said in this 90-second clip that we just played?
I agree with what he said. Whether he should have said it or let somebody else say it, that's a different issue. Normally you do these things differently, but as everybody says, this is not a normal president. Jerry,
we're expecting a 4% level on economic growth this quarter. Unemployment is at a nearly 20-year low. It's near a record low. Inflation has started to pick up and in fact has reached the Fed's forecast. You don't think they should be raising rates?
Well, they say they want 2% inflation, and now that it's finally hit 2%, they say they want to tighten. And I don't see what's wrong with strong economic growth and a low unemployment rate. I just don't think that that's a problem.
Joe, weigh in here.
Totally agree with what Gerald just said. The markets are basically discounting another 75 basis points of hikes between now and year-end 2020. The Fed is saying they're going to go 150 from there. So while they think they're moving gradual relative to what's priced into the markets, relative to what other central banks are doing, my guess is what will likely happen with the dollar. None of those developments, to my mind, are gradual hikes. It's relatively aggressive. And the president, the markets back the president on this.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.